Hi everyone, this is Matthew Janda for CardRunners, and I'm here with a live play video where I'm actually going to play three limits: no limit 50, no limit 100, and no limit 200 of zone poker, which is basically the Zoom equivalent on Bovada. We'll jump into live play in just a moment, but I first want to discuss what I'd like you to take from this video. In this video, I'm going to play three tables of zone poker, all at a different limit. I'm doing this for a few reasons. The first is a few people have requested I play zone hands at smaller stakes. And also, I'm a big believer that it really doesn't matter what limit you're playing. Over 98% of the lines you take should be the same regardless of your limit. Good poker is just good poker, and you should play good poker no matter what stake you're playing. There are a couple of really minor adjustments I'll make at each table. So good poker is good poker. I'll play more or less the same at every table. The only real difference you'll maybe even see, and you might not even see this because I'm only going to play, for half an hour of this video or an hour of this video, is I fold slightly more to 3-bets at lower limits as people 3-bet a stronger range. And this still may be incorrect because maybe I have a bigger skill edge at lower limits that I should still defend very, very aggressively. But you'll probably see me fold a little bit more if I open, the button and get 3-bet at no limit 50 than no limit 200. But barely more, but just slightly more. I also open the button slightly wider at lower limits since people 3-bet less. This one I'm more confident in. You really can get away with abusing the button more the lower the limit you're playing and the worse your opposition is. But that's pretty much it. And these adjustments are extremely minor. I more or less would play the same way at no limit 25 or no limit 400. You're pretty much going to see me value bet in the same spots, bluff in the same spots. Maybe if a bluff looks really close, I'll be a little more likely to make it at one limit than another, but really, you're not going to see much of a change. And then a quick side note. Do not be the guy who dislikes advice from higher stakes players because they don't play your limit and ignores the advice from other micro stakes regulars at the same limit because they suck. Seriously, no one likes that guy. I've seen people do this before where they just don't want to listen to players that play higher than them because they think, oh, you don't know what it's like to play at this limit, so your advice isn't good. But then they also ignore players that are playing at their limits because they think, well, no one that's actually good plays a limit this low. So then they just end up ignoring advice from everyone. You do not want to be that person. It gets you stuck at low limits. If you aren't a winning player, it's for either one or two reasons. Number one is the rake is too high relative to your possible edge. The rake is a big deal at really low limits, and that's something higher stakes players sometimes tend to forget. So maybe you are a winning player if there is no rake, but the rake's there, and that's why you're not winning money. And also, other players may play good poker better than you. So that's also why you're going to be losing money. If you play good poker better than your opponents do, you're going to win, assuming the rake doesn't just crush your winnings. Any adjustments based on stakes and read lists should be, in my opinion, incredibly minor. So I should make something very clear right now. We're going to be readless at all of these tables. If I did have a working HUD, then I would be more likely to adjust and exploit my opponents at lower limits, because as you play lower limits, you find more really bad players where doing something really exploitable can be good. But that's not me really adjusting because I'm playing a lower limit. Like, I'm not playing differently because it's no limit 50 rather than no limit 200. I'm just adjusting because I found a way to exploit my opponent that my HUD's letting me know. So in other words, a fish is a fish, whether you're playing no limit 200 or no limit 10. So it's totally fine to adjust based on a read you have on your HUD, but you would be doing the same adjustment no matter what limit you're playing, so long as you had that read. Okay, so hopefully everything's clear. We're just going to jump in and start playing some hands. Alright guys, this is my second go at recording a session, and I gotta let you know that we can't realistically pause to talk about hands because you get kicked off tables crazy fast, and you also don't have very long to make decisions. So we're going to be kind of just rolling with it and seeing how this works. I get 3-bet in the bottom left, but since I'm already involved in a hand in the upper left, I'm just going to check back. Ace-7 suited, like it's a fine hand to 3-bet there or not. It's not a big deal. And then we're definitely going to 3-bet in the upper right. And we're definitely going to call in the upper right, especially since we have outs to just making the 7. So I'm going to totally call here. It'll get tricky if he bets the river, but yeah, honestly, I think he's going to bet the river pretty often with the way I played it, but I still think we have to call a 9, second pair in the upper left. Awesome, now we're going to take the free check. Hope we got lucky, and we did. Cool. So, nice.